planning for your retirement years involves ideally including every member of your entire family in your thinking. Why? Stay with us. Our retirement planning expert explains.
Relationships that build wealth, create opportunities, the right solutions. That's what we do at JN Fund Managers.
We're in pursuit of your financial security.
Portfolio and investment management services for individuals and corporate clients, from wealth building and risk management to preparing for a comfortable retirement. Strong, stable, secure.
We're in pursuit of your success.
Let's talk. JN Fund Managers, your safer, smarter financial partner.
Thanks for staying with us. Our guest today is Janice Robinson Longmore. Janice, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Annette.
Over the past few weeks, we've been speaking about retiring and planning early on. One of our needs should be a retirement strategy with plans which should include every family member. Why is this so?
This is so because, as the saying goes, no man is an island. We need to think about our family as we plan to go into retirement. Most of us who enter retirement or are thinking about retirement have spouses. And what affects you affects your husband, your significant other, or the other way around. So if you're retiring and you have a good pension, you have other benefits, ask yourself, does your spouse have the same thing? Because if your spouse doesn't have a pension, that pension is going to have to be shared. How is it going to be shared? There is communication that is required. Also, when you're choosing options, if you are buying an annuity with your accumulated pension benefit, there are various options that you're going to be faced with. You need to ask yourself, if you're going to be buying a pension, is it just for you? Or are you going to make provisions for your spouse to enjoy some type of benefit when you die? For instance, you can choose that your spouse gets 100% of your pension for the rest of their natural life, or you can choose a 50% benefit. So if you die before your husband or your significant other, then they will receive 50% of your pension until their death. These things are important because what you don't want to do is to leave your significant other, your spouse, in a compromised or difficult position in the event that you predecease them. So think carefully about these issues, what you want, how you want it done, and talk to your partner about it. Talk about what plans you have. Talk about what provisions they're making for you and you are making for them, so that expectations will be tempered by what is expected to happen and what you're planning to happen. Also, bear in mind things like, if you're a man, women tend to outlive men, so it is likely that you'll predecease your spouse. If you're a woman, it may not happen, but it could happen. So you would want to have some provision in place should you die before your husband. So think about these things as you go into retirement. In your communication with your spouse, it is also very important. We talked already about not entering retirement with a lot of debt. But if your spouse is in debt, and you have co-signed on that debt, or you have an obligation related to that debt, it means that you're in debt too. Communication, again, is very important. Understand the financial situations that your spouse is in and understand how you'll be obligated given those financial issues that your spouse has. Sometimes men want to be good providers and don't want to talk about some of the challenges that they face, but it is especially important to speak about them before you retire so that you don't have a crisis when you retire. So have those frank conversations so that your expectations can be very clear and you can move into retirement more comfortably knowing what your obligations are.
And you should also have these conversations with your children.
Yes. You ought to also have these conversations with your children, because as you enter retirement and face the facts that you're going to be getting older and your control of your finances might not be as strong as when you were working, you're going to have to talk to your children too about some of the financial obligations that you face so that they'll be aware of them too. Be careful though. Do not put your children in a position where they're obligated to pay your debts or even feel obligated to pay your debts because of situations that have arisen over time. So as much as is possible, don't place the burden on somebody else, but communication is very important.
They should know. They need to know.
Yes.
How about relatives who have special needs for whom you bear responsibility while you are employed?
Any parent who has had a special needs child knows of the anxieties that arise as you have and care for your child in your working years. If you have a special needs child, there are going to be anxieties, there are going to be concerns that you have based on the needs of your child. You're going to be asking yourself, I can only imagine, how is this person going to survive? How is your child going to survive financially in the event that you're not working or that you're no longer here? Who is going to provide for care for your special needs child when they become an adult and in the event that you're no longer able to provide? As you think of these things and you raise your child and you earn money over the life of the child, change your priorities is what I would encourage you to do, and actively save for the event of your child having to need money, need care in your latter years. Also, what I would encourage you to do, and this is not financial advice per se, but financial advice is not something that's in a separate box that doesn't affect the rest of your life.
It's part of your everyday life.
Right. Every child, every person, even a child or a person with special needs has skills. And as that child grows into adulthood, they will need to not only feel valued by you, but also feel validated by society. There are going to be things that they can do. Don't focus on their disabilities. If they're able, for instance, if they're mentally challenged and they're able to pack boxes at a supermarket or pack groceries at a supermarket, that's a way that they can earn, that's a way that they can contribute to society, and that's a way that it can actually boost their self-image.
And independence.
And self-worth, because they'll be able to bring in something. They'll be interacting with people and building a career doing that, and may even get very good at it and build relationships that are external to your relationship with them that they will need over time as they get more and more independent, because special needs people do crave that independence and do crave that need to be able to give back something to society. So find out where they have interest. If they would like to serve, find a way for them to start earning by serving during your working life and as they grow older. If they have a skill with music, if they have a skill with making things, find out what that skill is and encourage them to express themselves in that skill, and find a way, actively seek out ways for them to be educated, numerate, and also have language skills, and be able to help them to get to a place where they're able to work and to do as much as they can to take care of themselves. You'll be preparing them for life, and you will have less anxiety as they get older and get more independent, and you see them start to shine.
So you're taking them to the best of their ability.
Yes. Focus on their ability.
Many of us have relationships with charitable organizations, and we want to see that these organizations continue when we retire. What can we think of?
Some organizations, especially the charitable ones, are funded by foundations. Foundations basically are pools of money. They usually involve a board of trustees that have governance or some kind of governance responsibility over the pool of money that supports the charity. One way that you can think of giving back to the charity of your own interest is when you're constructing your will, ensure that there is some provision in it for that charitable foundation so that there's some money going into it. You may want to consider that more than a one-time payment if what you're concerned about is the sustainability of the charity after you're gone. Because a one-time payment in the event of your death will help for a while, but it's not a sustainable thing. So think of a charity that is supported by a foundation and that has longevity to it and sustainability about it.
Janice Robinson Longmore, once again, a wealth of knowledge in 10 minutes? Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Listeners, I've been speaking with Janice Robinson Longmore, Deputy General Manager, JN Fund Managers Limited. Be reminded that you may speak to any financial advisor at JNFM for more information and for consultations. The program will be uploaded to JNFM's Facebook page later today. Please email your questions to jnfundmanagers@jnbs.com or contact us through our website or text us at 504-1719. That's 504-1719. We share the reminder that we should enjoy our journey to retirement. That's our here and now, even as we plan for the future. Take care of yourself until next week. Bye-bye.